Hi, welcome to the Truth with Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal. It's Isaac. Episode number 14 of the Truth with Tal and Isaac. Today's agenda: Super Bowl recap, top 5 point guards of all time, and our famous movie villain draft. But before we jump into things off the top, D Rose got traded. Quick take.
About time. Should have got traded last year when we could get probably a first, I think.
I mean, the rumor was late first last year, the Lakers, but so they got an early second and a better draft. Plus, they got D. Smith, who I think is trash, but he's athletic. And
he's an athlete.
You never know.
Yeah.
Juice baseballs. I don't get that whole thing. Like, pitchers must just be pissed.
Yeah, it's like, as a fan, I dig it. But, like, as a guy who roots for David Price and JV and Max Scherzer, I don't like it, you know?
But listen, it probably is a good thing for the Tigers long run, just because a lot of their top guys are pitchers, and guys like Riley Green and Torkelson are like line drive doubles hitters.
Yeah. Okay.
But who knows? Russell Wilson on the trading block? Man.
Yeah, that's weird.
Is he really on the trading block? Or
I'm not going to say that yet. Let's wait a bit until it's closer to actually, like, not just one kind of weird cryptic comment.
Man, he is a demigod in Seattle. Crazy.
We talk about Watson's trade value, and Wilson obviously is older, but like, if you are making a Super Bowl run or a playoff run for a couple years, you want Wilson over Watson.
Yep. And what's with the teams in the NBA like that don't play defense? Like, we watched Brooklyn, Detroit last night, and like, Detroit is young and they got some talent, but like, it's pretty much a layup line against Brooklyn and Washington and Atlanta.
We were just watching Atlanta, Dallas, and Toronto, Washington. Toronto, Washington, virtually zero defense. Toronto played a little bit, but Washington couldn't and just wouldn't. And then the Dallas-Atlanta game, Atlanta doesn't play any defense, and the Mavs do a bit. Luke is actually not a terrible defender. Like, we could get some slack for it. He's not an awful defender, but not a lot of defense.
I know it's February, they don't care, but play some D, babies.
Yeah, because Brooklyn's not going anywhere with no defense right now.
Yeah. What do you got off the top?
Hall of Fame. Charles Woodson, Pete Manning, Calvin Johnson. A couple jerseys behind us. 3 really likable dudes that had really good careers, and
except everybody in Tennessee is still pissed off that Chuck won the Heisman and Manning didn't.
3 guys that...
Ask anybody from Tennessee, hey, what do you think about that Manning Heisman?
Okay, about that. Woodson was best player in college that year.
Woodson was the best player in college.
He was
football
awesome. Player in college, right? If it was like if Smith didn't win it this year, Smith was the best player in college football. So
yeah, and it's not a career award; it's a season, one season.
Correct. Yeah. And then Michigan basketball, top 3 now.
Just don't play and move up. It's awesome.
They're on like COVID break, and one of the top teams lost. So we have, I don't know what you just dropped.
This is to make me stop making so much noise. This is like a fidget spinner, and I dropped it.
Wow. Well, it's okay, because if you look at earlier episodes, he's like hitting the table or like doing like nonsense. So we have to give him something. Like, he's the child. Just to like enter.
I'm a little excitable, okay? I'm a little excitable.
Next time. Okay, that's all I got for off the top. Before we talk Super Bowl, we'll talk about an older Super Bowl. Shout out No.
Ticket from Super Bowl 16 at the Pontiac Silverdome.
Bengals, Niners, right? This is like
program
beginning of.
This is like classic No, right?
Prime Niners.
He's got pictures that he took in 1982.
Two. Yeah. Would have been late 82, I think.
I don't think so. If it was Super Bowl 16.
What do we got?
Oh, 82. Man, you're right.
Yeah, I remember watching that. I was a youngin' back in the day.
Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube, you got to see some of that cool stuff.
This is cool.
If you're on a podcast app, I'll throw it up on our Instagram, at The Truth with T&I. Again, Nono, good listener of the pod. Shout out, Nono. Thanks for the pictures. Thanks for the program. Thanks for the ticket. And now, let's talk about a more modern Super Bowl. Super Bowl 55. I think we should start with just talking about Chiefs a little bit, talk about the Bucs a little bit, and then see where that takes us. You want to go ahead?
Listen, KC has got lots of potential, and they still have, some future Super Bowls in that group. But this shows that, okay, Mahomes is the best quarterback in football, but even he has limits, right? Like Michael Jordan can play and beat most teams by himself, but he still needs somebody who can play a bit of D. Yeah, Scottie Pippen, shout out to Paul Morrell, Horace Grant. Mahomes just didn't have an offensive line.
Yeah.
And that led to how many times was he? Like 29 times he was pressured in the game.
I thought it was more, no? Felt like
I think it was 29 times he was pressured, and Brady was pressured 4 times. And that's the biggest discrepancy in history, according to Bill Simmons and his dudes. And they'll probably have a little bit more research done than we do.
Yeah, I agree. The biggest takeaway of the game for the Chiefs was that I think they were out game planned and out coached for 2 weeks. And on Super Bowl Sunday, they were also out coached again. I know the tackles is an issue. It's not like it was like a 1 week, like they had 2 full weeks to prepare with these guys. Clearly that was not nearly enough. Like they looked so lost.
Stop complaining about the flags. Stop complaining about whatever.
We'll get there.
O-line injuries, Casey just could not overcome.
Yeah.
Mahomes is a beast. The throws that he
I wrote
made,
that down too. Yeah.
like bashed on one side, had to run around some more. You know, he ran 477 yards, and Brady ran 3 yards. But even during some of those plays, he'd be like falling down, throw it on a dime, like 35 yards.
Yeah, I wrote down, Mahomes played his heart out. I look forward to watching him win Super Bowls in the next decade.
For sure.
He's a really easy guy to root for, and when Tom retires, if that ever happens, I look forward to watching Mahomes win some rings.
Yep, I agree. A couple other takes from the game. We'll talk about Brady in a second, but KC just didn't seem to have a game plan that could match up with the situation that they were dealt. Tampa's like, we're playing too deep and way deep.
Yeah.
So they really didn't throw a lot of underneath crossing passes, like quick hitters. Yes, they threw to Kelsey a decent amount, but even Kelsey didn't have the best game. Hill, we called this ahead of time. Poop game. Hill, you were not the worst player on the field because
The
tackles were pretty bad. They were like doormen at a hotel. Oh, go ahead, sir. Oh, Mr. Jean-Pierre Paul, go ahead, sir. But they just didn't seem to match to what was available to them, and it was bad. It was bad.
Talk a bit about the Bucs.
For sure.
They had a great game plan. They knew exactly what they're doing, both sides of football. Defense, he talked about a bit, but offense, this is going to morph into a little bit of Tom Brady praise, but didn't make the stupid play once, took what the defense gave you, made the right play every time. There's a couple of the incompletions where he threw it a little far to the sideline intentionally, so if the corner jumped that route, it's not a pick six. It's just going out of bounds past whoever, Godwin or Evans. So Brady made the right play all the time. Didn't need to do anything flashy. I thought if it was a tighter game, we would see some of those kind of trick plays. They didn't have to.
Nope.
And I really like the way that Arians kind of coached that offense.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just take a step back and look at the Bucs. And you called this result, not me. So the Bucs got hot in the playoffs and beat 4 pretty good teams. I know Washington had, I don't know, who's that dude?
Haneke,
who
got re-signed, by the way.
Who got re-signed. Yeah. But he scored, like, he had a good game. But then they beat 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in Rodgers, Breeze, and let's assume Mahomes stays on some type of similar career trajectory, and he'll be a Hall of Famer. They scored more than 30 points in other games, and they just played smart. One of the other things about Brady is, he made the good plays, but he didn't get credit, and obviously you don't get credit for the yards in pass interference. But there's a couple of big plays that he made, especially end of the first half when the game was still tight, that made the difference between really a competitive second half and not a competitive second half.
Yeah, front 7 for the Bucs defense, like mainly the front 4, they rushed for the vast majority of the game, and then every now and then Bulls would throw in a blitz, which was sweet. Like they did one double corner blitz, which was just awesome. Like you don't see that a lot.
And then they dropped out Pierre-Paul into coverage.
Yeah, with 7 fingers. Like I really liked what the Bucs did. I thought at the beginning, like first quarter was a bit shaky, but Brady teams kind of have a history of starting off first quarters a little iffy, but they figured it out. So let's talk a bit about the refs.
Sure.
I don't get it. They didn't lose by 4, right? Like, if it was a really tight game, a one-possession game, go off about the refs. Personally, a lot of the calls the refs made were just penalties that the Chiefs committed.
KC has a reputation of holding all the time, and guess what? They held all the time, and they got some flags.
And Romo called that out.
Yeah, now was it questionable? Romo's awesome.
Yeah, Romo's
Man,
awesome.
He's calling the stuff before the stripes are. Man, he's fun to watch. Actually, he's fun to listen to while you're watching the game.
Yeah. What do you got?
You deserve to lose. No, just KC. Stop
Yeah.
whining about the flags. I wanted to make a comparison to Brady, and I know you're probably going to talk a little bit more about Brady. He's not an athletic marvel. He just wins. So I compare him to Gretzky. People actually, like, now today you don't really hack on Gretzky, but when I was young, when I was your age, people hacked on Gretzky because he didn't fight. People hack on Brady because he didn't run. He's not as mobile. Both married to super hot, like, model actress wives. But I compare Gretzky and Brady, right? Probably two of the top, arguably 3 or 4 best
For sure.
team sport athletes of all time.
Easy, yeah.
Brady's got 5 MVPs. Montana only has 3 of them. He's got more rings than any other franchise in history. That's an amazing statistic. What else you got about Brady?
He deserved to win MVP. Let's go into the MVP talk now. So, a few guys I wrote down that had great games. Shaq Barrett, Sue, JPP, Levante David, Winfield, there's defensive back.
White.
Devin White, I want to talk about last. If Brady wasn't going to win it, I think White should have.
So here's my question. If Brady is just a guy, right? If Brady is even Rodgers or
Heineke.
Wentz or one of those guys, I think he probably doesn't get as much credit because a lot of things that Brady brings you are intangibles, and you don't give that type of credit to Goff next year when the Lions go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think if you have Joe Smith at quarterback and he does exactly what Brady did, I think Joe Smith still gets MVP. I really do. It's an MVP.
No, I think they're giving it. It's a quarterback league, which most of the time the quarterback obviously is like pop in MVP race.
See, offensive rookie of the year, right? Herbert Jefferson, 2 guys that were right here, but the quarterback won it.
Yeah, and it wasn't even that close, was it?
I'm not sure. It should have been. You can.
Yep.
I actually
Jefferson was
Jefferson
awesome.
should have won it, but
Yep.
whatever. So I think Brady deserved to win it. Like all those guys I named played excellently, but unfortunately, you can't give a Super Bowl MVP to a defensive unit or a defensive coordinator. It's a one.
Todd Bowles. It would have been nice for him to win, but you can't win it, dude.
It's one dude, and if you have to pick one dude out of that game, it's Brady. It is.
Yep, I agree.
Okay. Brady-Mathieu. So, quick rundown. I think it's worth the conversation, even though it's stupid. Obviously, if you watch Super Bowl...
This is Tom Brady, Tyrann Mathieu, the DB that was a lot of...
both
of them.
So they get into it during the game, yelling match, some John, kind of going off to the sidelines. After the game, Mathieu tweeted, he called me something I won't repeat, but yeah, I'll let the media throw me under the bus as if I did something or said something to him.
Was that like an allusion to Tom using the N-word?
So this is super subjective. I take this as Mathieu is saying Brady said something racial or derogatory. That's how I read this. Do you agree?
I think so. Did more information come out after that?
That's the tweet.
See, I think if that had been the case, wasn't Brady mic'd up?
Okay, so this tweet, he tweets this. Then the report comes out.
And Honey Badger is a bit of a punk, right?
We'll talk about backgrounds, yeah. So tweet comes out. Then there's a report that Brady texted Mathieu right after the game and apologized, said he's a great leader, blah, blah, blah. Then the tweet got deleted. This is shady and dumb. So I don't think track records. Brady doesn't have a track record of. He has a bit of a track record of getting into it, sure, like anybody.
Oh, he's a trash talker
for sure, but he's not a racist.
I hope not.
So Like, I don't think you can pull that card. Like, I just don't really think it makes sense. And Matthew has a track record of being a bit of a hothead, right? Was like kicked out of college, basically, some drug stuff, some locker room issues, not the cleanest slate. So if I take this at face value, I think Matthew was pissed that he lost. And
Brady was letting him know about it.
And Brady let him know, and Matthew just wanted to throw him under the bus and twist media stuff like Kyrie.
I think if Brady had really said something, it would have come out by now. There would have been some type of corroborating stories, or he's mic'd up, or something.
So Tom Brady was mic'd up, right? Like they don't release all the footage, and they will in a documentary in 50 years. But right, Brady had a mic on the entire game. You really think Brady would have used something that could tarnish his image, his brand, the Bucks? No way. That's stupid.
No.
That's a dumb argument.
It's like a Kurt Schilling move.
Seriously, and if you think Brady said something derogatory, I really want to know why you think that. Like, comment it, text me, whatever. Because I don't understand why people think this.
Okay, I agree with you. Anything else in the Super Bowl?
Tom Brady's the GOAT.
Tom Brady's the GOAT. I want to thank the NFL for giving us a pretty normal season, right? Like, we really needed you. Like, Daniela, right, my wife, his mom, said, so are you guys laid off on Sundays now? Right? Because we work on Sundays. We got to put in work, right? Like, we've made at least $2 off of merch. So that's our jobs. Maybe $3.
$2.50.
So I don't know what we're going to do on Sundays. We probably got to start playing some more Prison Rules tennis.
Back to tennis. Yeah.
Australian Open.
Next time I talk to the NFL, I'll just let them know that I'll thank them on our behalf.
Thank them. Yeah, we should probably, on Instagram, we should thank them. Thank you.
Point guards.
Top 5 point guards.
So, all right, Bad Boys hat's coming out.
Just a coincidence? I think not.
What's that from? The Incredibles. You don't even know.
Oh, The Incredibles. That's right.
Honorable mentions. I've got a few names here. Chris Paul, John Stockton, Walt Frazier, Jason Kidd. Stockton would probably be 6. But those are a few guys that didn't quite crack my top 5.
Okay, so I got Frazier, Nash, Jason Kidd, and Bob Cousy.
Cousy's a good call.
Yeah. Actually, I thought maybe when you didn't say Cousy, I thought maybe you had Cousy sneaking into your top 5.
I'll go 5 first.
Okay.
Steve Nash. I'm a huge Steve Nash guy. Maybe, the last true point guard the league's seen, like Chris Paul, Steve Nash, were really the last true point guard. There's not a lot of guys like them anymore. He's a floor general. The shooting passing combo.
Killian Hayes?
Shut up. Killian Hayes is trash.
He's trash.
The shooting passing combo with Nash. Not a lot of dudes in history.
And just held his dribble. Yeah, was he a system kind of guy that helped pad his stats?
He was the system.
He did win an MVP over Shaq. Yeah, but if you don't have... Yeah, but the one about Shaq is pretty controversial.
And Kobe.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think that was as much controversial as the Shaq one.
Okay, younger viewers will agree with me for sure.
For sure. Well, Kobe, you guys love him. Kobe early in his career?
Okay, enough Kobe slander. I'm tired of it. Steve Nash, reason why he's not higher, no rings hurts. But who are the dudes right behind him? Chris Paul, no ring. John Stockton, no ring. Those are probably the two right on his
Good point. So I've got 5. Actually, I have Stockton. He led the league in assists for 9 straight seasons. Yes, he did a lot of dump offs to the mailman, but that was cool. When we play 2-on-2 against like Paul or Daniel or Steph or Nico, what we do is we have about 3 plays, right? It's like Isaac isolation, Tal isolation, or pick and roll. But what we do is every time we do a pick and roll, we would just yell out any Utah Jazz player in history. Really, anyone. And what does that mean? That means pick and roll. Stockton, Nash.
So we'd yell at all these random names, right?
Like Joe Ingles.
Joe Ingles.
Rudy Gobert.
Donovan
Mitchell.
And
Stockton.
They would think we had 50 plays of all these different, like, what does Donovan Mitchell play mean, right? And
it was whoever had the ball. The other guy just had a screen, and we did pick and roll.
Okay, so you have...
I have Stockton, number 5.
Speaking of assists.
11-time All-Star. I don't know. He's got something like 2,700 more assists than everybody else in history.
Okay, system. My 4, I have Isaiah Thomas at 4. I don't know where you have him. Again, we don't talk about our lists, but the three guys ahead of him, I just couldn't put Zeke over him. So, Isaiah Thomas, the captain in Detroit, one of the best ball handlers ever. If he played in today's league, man, he would just put on a show every night. And
oh my God!
Like it'd be Trae Young,
especially playing
times 100.
Washington with no defense. Man, he would be killing them.
And he got 2 rings with the Finals MVP. Right?
Yep.
People forget that he got the MVP, and that was in the most competitive era, I think, in league history.
Yep. So I've got the Big O, Oscar Robertson, as 4. You probably have him as 3. Filled up the stat sheet. He made the triple-double a stat before people even knew it was a stat. And his, good quote is, "Man, if I knew it was the thing, I just would have done it every night."
Yeah.
And also, he was an all-around player. Lots of steals, lots of blocks. For most of his career, they did not track those stats. Big O, obviously difficult to compare him from a different era, but he was really a transcendent player. And I've got him as my 4th-ranked point guard in league history.
So I've got Big O at 3.
Okay.
Similar to Magic in terms of like filling up the stat sheet, and again, like Isaiah, if he play, I wish we saw some of these guys in today's league. If Big O played in today's league,
with the training that they have, 12 months a year, like everything. Shooting coaches, nutrition coaches, all that stuff,
he would light it up, and wasn't just like filling up the stat sheet. Like you said, was a hustler, played both ways, and was a big part of that Bucks
one ring. Did he win a ring with Lou Alcindor?
It was one ring.
So that was a little while ago.
Yeah, 70,
if you don't know what that means, you need to look it up.
72, 73, it was in that 71, like it was early 70s, I think.
Yeah, 71 was Knicks, wasn't it? So I think it was 72.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Right, the sprained ankle, who was that?
That's Willis Reed.
Willis Reed, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got Zeke, Bad Boys, as number 3 all-time. Tough as nails, clutch reformer. In today's NBA, he would just be a wizard, right? He was an amazing ball handler.
Yeah.
He could shoot. A lot of people didn't recognize how good a shooter he was because the whole thing, he was from Chicago. Chicago was Windy City, so you didn't shoot a lot of J's. You always drove to the basket. But look up the sprained ankle against the Lakers quarter in, I think, 88.
It was 80. Yeah, it was 88.
Just look that up and watch that and then tell me Zeke is not awesome. Did he piss a lot of people off? Yeah. I think he was probably a pain in the ass. I think he was probably a terrible GM and coach. He did a lot of bad things, but we're not worried about that. We're just worried about Zeke and the magic that he did in the D, number 3 all time.
Yeah, I didn't even talk about the heroic performance because I knew you wanted to talk about that.
That was awesome.
That was the year the year they didn't win, like the first year.
That was the Phantom Foul against Lambeer, Kareem.
And then they won the next 2 years, right?
Yep.
Could have been a 3-peat, whatever. My 2. Now, I actually think this is a debate. I think Steph Curry and Magic Johnson is a debate.
Okay.
I have Steph at 2.
Oof. Actually, I thought maybe I really considered, okay, I've got Steph at 2 as well.
Okay.
So let's just talk about it. Why Magic over Steph?
A couple of reasons. Magic's prime, like his 3 MVP years were unreal. Like was unstoppable. And I think
this is 6'9" point guards before those big guys existed. Point guards were like 6'1", 6'2" dudes. A lot of them crackers, just not athletic marvels.
Yeah.
Magic was a beast.
So I've Steph at 2. If we're talking about who's the most revolutionary, that's like these might be 1, 2, like Michael's up there. 3
people who changed the game, maybe the most in history: Wilt, Steph, and Magic.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'd want to put the GOAT in there somewhere, but I have Steph at 2. Like you said, changed the game. The best.
Did hand checking change because of Michael Jordan?
Probably.
The hand check rule?
Probably.
So there you go.
The best pure shooter ever, right? Ray Allen's probably the best catch and shoot shooter ever. But like, if I need a J and an ISO,
you see the play from last night where he got fouled, twisted around, got hit, had a hot dog, and then flipped it in over his head backwards.
Like I said, so fun to watch. Like I'm
amazing
glad
to watch.
We like Steph. Like I know there's some LeBron guys that hate Steph, right? Because like
how do you dislike Steph?
Because a 6'3" point guard son LeBron a couple times. But I have Steph at 2. But
so I really wanted to put Steph at 1, and not that Magic was a spectacular defender, but when he wanted to lock down on it, he really could. Steph, unfortunately, one-on-one is just not that good a defender. Zeke, just a stronger dude, better defender. Stockton, again, not the most athletic, kind of dirty actually, but he was a better defender. So that's why I've got Magic as one. Helped bring the NBA into prominence. And that honestly started in college when he played Bird in Indiana State, Michigan State. I think that's 79. He could do anything he wanted to do on the court. And actually, Magic became a really good shooter later in his career. When he first came in the NBA, he was not that much of a shooter. Again, not as relevant, different game. But later in his career, he got to be a good shooter.
Yeah, I got Magic at one. Best passer of the ball ever, right? In an open court in transition, it's just a magician, right? And like I said, the 3 MVPs, or 3 of the best seasons, like that 86-87 team, they won the ring that year. He won MVP, might have got Finals MVP, was just nuts, like off the charts. I really haven't seen anything like it. So in awesome. 5 years, is Steph, ahead of Magic? Maybe. But right now, I have Magic 1.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting debate. Right? Is there anybody else? Like, who's the next amazing point guard? In 10 years, you're going to talk about Luka, maybe? We'll see. One. Although, they need some more dudes. They've got Porzingis. And then who's the third best guy on Dallas?
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Nobody. Mark Cuban.
Yeah, Mark Cuban, their owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our next NBA thing is going to be greatest of all time.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about, 15, 10. I want to do 15, just because that's going to change up our lists a bit, right? 10, there's going to be more.
Can we do the old school draft like we used to do on our road trips?
To rank the best ever? Because, I don't like LeBron. I don't want him on my team, but I understand he's one of the best players ever.
Okay, we do a snake draft, and I've got 1, and I pick Michael, and you've got 2 and 3. Are you not picking LeBron?
Well, I want to win, and I don't want to lose in the finals and choke, so no, I'm not going to get LeBron.
Okay, so I'm going to pick 4th. So you're going to have... Doesn't matter. Okay, that's what we'll do next time. Okay, so now we're doing movie villain draft. NBA. What are the ground rules? No Star Wars, no superheroes.
No Star Wars, no superheroes. No monsters. So Godzilla, if King Kong, if he's a bad guy, they would just wreck the court, and then we wouldn't be able to play the game.
Yeah.
So none of those
Space
guys.
Jam, not those dudes.
Well, that's Charles Barkley, though. You know what I mean? That's not... I consider Charles Barkley from Space Jam Charles Barkley. So this is going to be traditional movie villains for the most part. Cartoons are in play.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. So we're going to do rock, paper, scissors for start?
Yeah, we'll do rock, paper, scissors, and we'll do... what do we want to do? 10 dudes and a coach, or 9
probably
dudes and 2 coaches?
10 dudes and a coach.
2 coaches or 1 coach?
Probably 2 coaches. You might need a player coach. You never know. There's going to be a lot of fouls.
Yeah.
So you need some to rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh!
Okay.
Number 1 pick in the draft. This is hard, right? Because, again, you got to think of villains, and let's just pick a couple of names that we know are going to be picked relatively high. Hannibal, Bates from Psycho. They are amazing villains. Hannibal, arguably the greatest villain in movie history. He's going to be a high pick. Not because he's an athletic marvel, but just because of what he brings to a team and because of his amazing ability to just be scary as hell.
All right, this is super hard. I've got a couple guys I like.
So is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or are we 1, 2,
1,
3,
1, 1?
Oh, that sucks.
That's last time in one of our first drafts I said snake and you went nuts about it. So this is ball don't lie. It's your fault. Okay, so first overall, I'm gonna go with Predator.
Okay, good
Predator
pick.
off the board.
Yeah.
He's got that thing where he can aim, so he's gonna be a sharpshooter. He's gonna be able to stretch the floor. He's a center, maybe a power forward. If I want to go big ball, I'll play him at the 3. So I have Predator.
Good pick, and certainly an athletic marvel. But I've called him out already. I got to pick Hannibal just because he's the greatest villain of all time. And here's one of the things about Hannibal that I don't think you considered. He chops people up, and
Team up, he's gone.
No. Listen, his heart rate never goes above 62, and he cuts people up. You don't think he's going to be clutched down the threat? You're down. 10 seconds left in the game. You're down to Hannibal slowly dribbling up the court, listening to Beethoven in his head. Step back 3, boom, game. Hannibal, number 1. He's my point guard. He's my captain.
Wow. And another thing I think we have to consider is like locker room issues, right? Like, I don't want to get like.
They're actually not allowed to. There are 12 separate locker rooms. Any of their team meetings are done via Zoom or
and the host
Google Meets. Mute everybody.
Okay. So I'm going to go with Terminator here. I'm going to go with the original Terminator. So Arnold from 84.
Just going big. It's too bulky.
Like, who's stopping Terminator in the post? Nobody. Again, accuracy. He's got the thing like Deadeye. So I have Predator and Terminator.
Okay. So I'm going to have to go a little off script because obviously I need to match some size to size. I'm going to go Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. I need a big, mean dude who can match up with your big dudes. So moving up a little bit early on the board. So I got Jason Voorhees as my center and my second pick.
All yours. A couple guys I like here. I'm going to have to dip into the Rocky franchise.
Oh.
And there's 2 guys. I'm actually going to go with Ivan Drago.
Yeah.
I think Clubber Lang would be too much of a locker room cancer and would just like be terrible.
Yeah,
but,
actually,
like,
I considered him as for my second pick.
Drago can't speak English, so like he'll be great. Like no fights, big physical dude.
Does him, yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Ivan Drago.
Okay, good. So I'm gonna go outside the box here because again, I need a big, tough character. And I don't think you said I couldn't draft this thing. So I'm picking the shark from Jaws.
Yeah. Okay, that's stupid.
No, he's going to just bite. And yeah, he's going to get fouled out quickly. But I got to pick the shark from Jaws.
Okay. Bit of a reach there. But I would have saved him for the later rounds.
No, shark from Jaws is awesome.
I'm not picking a shark.
We're going to need a bigger boat.
Alrighty. I don't have I've got
it's
a lot
scary,
of scary.
Man, he made like a generation of people afraid to swim.
Okay, thanks, Shark. A few guys I like here. Again, I do need some smaller guys. So I'm actually going to go with Gollum at the point guard.
Okay, yeah.
I think Gollum
good pick.
from Lord of the Rings would be very crafty with the ball. I wouldn't use him as a shooter. I'll just surround him with shooters.
Like a Rajon Rondo kind of guy.
Rondo
yep.
is Gollum.
Yep. Well, since you picked Ivan Drago, I got to go with Clubber here just because, I need some toughness. And actually, I like Clubber Lang and Ivan Drago. They're going to beat the crap out of each other. I had Clubber as either small forward or power forward. You probably have Ivan Drago as the power forward. Mm-hmm. But, small ball lineup, I'm pretty sure Clubber can play the 4.
A few guys. I'm going to go into the Terminator franchise again. I'm going to go with T-1000. This is the liquid metal dude from T2 who could, like...
Yeah, I had him really high.
So, like, he's going to be able to... Like, if someone's on him, he'll just, like, turn into nothing and then teleport to the net.
Yeah, pretty tough to set a screen
and
against
he can, like,
the
take
T-1000.
The form of other people. So, like, he'll take the form of Hannibal Lecter and, like, trick your team.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with T-1000. Probably at, like, a 2, maybe. I think he'd be a guard.
Yep, probably. Smaller dude. Again, I need some more size because you've got a pretty big lineup. I'm going with Lord Voldemort from the Harry Potter series. I know we're probably not huge Harry Potter fans, but I needed a big guy, mean. Ralph Fiennes, is that who the actor is?
I don't know. Harry Potter is just sucky Star Wars, so like, I don't like if Star Wars
I've got He Who Must Not Be Named as another 4-5, another big guy.
Yeah, if Star Wars sucked and they used sticks instead of lightsabers, Harry Potter. Sorry, Omar. Omar, if you're listening, Omar's a big Harry Potter guy, so I probably lost a listener.
Sorry, Omar.
But it's true. So you went Lord Voldemort?
Yep.
I'm going to go with a physical threat, one that I don't think you'll have an answer for. I'm going to go with Kreese from The Karate Kid.
Good one. Yeah.
He's going to be a player coach. So, like, he's just going to motivate the crap out of these dudes, and he's also just going to beat you up down low. So I'm going to go with Kreese on my team.
John Kreese, that's a good pick. Again, I think I'm going to have to match that with another just badass, mean dude. Now, I'm not allowed to pick King Kong, so what's the movie King Kong? I'm King Kong. Come on.
Oh, Alonzo Harris.
Yeah, Alonzo Harris from Training Day. I think Actually, he dropped a little bit. He did have he's nuts. Well, he failed at the combine. He had a lot of drugs in his system, so he did drop a little bit. But I still think he's a good pickup. So I'm going with Lonzo probably as my 3.
Yeah.
But again, he could move up, move down, pretty athletic. He'll go through his fouls pretty quickly.
What was that quote that he said about King Kong?
I'm King Kong! Something like that. Sorry about it. A little bit loud.
If you haven't seen Training Day, go watch Training Day. It's so cool.
Very good movie.
I think it might be on Netflix. Training Day's sick. Okay. Again, I need some smaller guys. I want another shooter. I've got some big shooters, so I'm actually going to go with Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore here.
Oh, that's a pretty good one. Shooter
McGavin from Happy Gilmore.
I did not have him here, but that's a good pick.
He's a hothead, but he's Klay Thompson. So I like Shooter McGavin here.
So I need somebody to get in Shooter McGavin's head. And actually, I'm going outside the box here. I don't even know if you have this person on your draft board. But I needed pure evil. I've got Nurse Ratched.
I had her.
Yeah, you got her on the board. She's actually a really good shooter. Gets in your face on D and mean. Nobody wants to play against Nurse Ratched. She's kind of like Bill Mahorn.
So she's a player
or
or
Rick
a coach?
Mahorn. No, she's actually, we're going to call her a player coach.
Because the issue with coaching is like her knowledge of basketball is really limited to like the 70s. I don't know how that's going to translate to modern day. So, and all my guys, you can put them in any era in basketball and they're lighting you up. I don't know about Nurse, but as a coach, I understand a little more than a player.
Sure.
So I've got
lots of good names still on the board here.
Lots of good guys still on the board.
You can't pick the iceberg from Titanic.
Well, you probably would. You've picked a shark. Like, you're just going to pick things that come out of the sea, moron. That's the truth.
Iceberg's actually not a terrible pick.
Okay, I am going to go with John Doe from 7.
Yep.
He's going to be my second coach.
Oh, my God.
Right?
He's going to be your what?
My second coach.
Yeah.
He'll game plan like crazy.
And you have no idea where he's from. He could be from Indiana.
So I have...
shaved off his fingerprints.
I have John Doe. If you've seen 7, he's the bad guy from 7.
Yep.
As a coach.
So I need another athletic dude. I'm going with Biff Tannen from Back to the Future.
That's my next pick.
Yeah, Biff is a pain in the ass, but he's actually pretty athletic. He played football. He played some basketball back in high school.
Probably wrestled.
He probably wrestled. I'm sure he got he failed the drug test as well. That probably led to his precipitous drop. But I've got Biff Tannen as a power forward.
That's a good pick. I had him down. Now this is one that
still lots of great names out here.
There's a bunch of guys still. I don't know how well his skills are going to translate to the basketball court, but I'm going to go with Alien from Alien. Physical threat.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use him as a scorer. He's just going to be like a rim protector, and like I don't know what year of the Alien. Like I can get a small alien or like the Queen from Aliens, like the big one. So I'm going to just go with Alien here.
Okay, it's a good pick. Again, lots of dudes out there that are really good, but I think I got to go with Jack Torrance.
I had him.
Just an evil dude. He's probably my backup point guard. Hannibal, he can't play a full game, Hannibal. So I got
stamina.
Yeah, stamina's. But that's okay. I got 24 solid minutes out of Hannibal, and I need him in clutch time. So I got Jack as my backup point guard here.
Ooh, a few guys I like here.
Lots of great names still out there.
I'm going to dip into Rocky again. And I'm going to go with Apollo Creed from Rocky 1. He's totally on the board. He's the antagonist. He's the bad guy in Rocky 1. And I get prime Apollo.
I don't know.
What? What's the debate?
He was actually not a terrible dude. Yeah, he was a little bit of a showman, but...
He's definitely a villain. 100%.
It's debatable.
Do you want me to pick someone else? So either way, I'm beating you.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to pick somebody who you're never going to pick, and you hate even that I'm talking about him, but I'm picking Khan from Star Trek. And you don't
Why do
really...
I hate that?
Well, you don't really like Star Trek.
I haven't gotten into it yet.
But Khan was a genetically modified warrior, right? And he was such a badass that him and about 70 of his warrior dudes were put in like some frozen isolation chambers because they were just wreaking havoc. So I got Con. He's my backup shooting guard. Again, depending on matchups, and if Nurse Ratchet is just super crabby that day, I may have the nurse coming off the bench and Con starting for me because Con can shoot. He's got a motor that does not stop. Maybe he could be the defensive player of the year candidate. He's very similar to who's the dude, Bruce Bowen from San Antonio. That's kind of the comparison.
All right.
A little dirty, right? You go for a jump shot, you fall down, you roll your ankle on Con.
So I've got 2 coaches. I think you have 2. So we have 2 players left to take. So we each have 2 more picks. I am going to go with Slenderman from the Slenderman movie that they made. Look, he's a twig. He's Brandon Ingram. But like
he's ball.
He's like 20 feet tall. Like he's protecting the rim like crazy. So I have him as just like a bull type defensive shutdown guy. Who's blocking anything. And if he can shoot just a little bit, he's going to have such a high release, no one's blocking it. So I have Slenderman.
Okay, so 2 more players. Then I got to go old school. This is like 1930s. She's got a 2-handed set jump shot, but she's really good from range. I got the Wicked Witch of the West. Dude. Yeah, you did not have her on the board, but she could ball.
Dude. She
went to Harvard. She was first team all NCAA, Wicked Witch of the West. She could ball.
Okay, that's.
She went to she didn't go. She went to Kansas. She didn't go to Harvard.
Kansas University.
Right. Kansas.
Okay, so I have 1 more pick here.
I just got to say, I have 2 women on my team. So,
dude,
that's like I'm so much more superior than you. I'm so much more woke than you. I'm woke. I've been overusing that word. Just at home, I don't use it at work because it's kind of inappropriate. Because I don't really know what it means, but I just know it's used a lot. Woke?
I don't have that many humans on my team, so there's my equality line. Not a lot of humans on my team. We're going intergalactic. So I've got 1 more pick. I'm going to go with one that you definitely don't have on the board. I hope you know who he is. Super Shredder from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah. That's a good pick.
Physical beast.
Yeah,
and super scary. Pick. And
I did see him on some lists.
I have him for sure. This was shout out a couple of my boys. Malik Deo kind of helped me out with that one.
Okay, that's a good one. It's a good call. So my last pick, I have to decide between Annie Wilkes from Misery, who's mean, man. She's like sledgehammer mean. Like at timeouts, she's going to go to your huddle and take wood and just like bash people's ankles. So it's Annie Wilkes or Michael Myers from the Halloween series. And I think I got to go with Michael Myers. He's got a sweet skyhook, not really well known. Before he was a crazy person, he
actually was always crazy, right? Or was he a kid?
Oh, he was crazy as a kid, but he hit it well. I'm going Michael Myers from the Halloween movies. I've got a lot of classic bad guys. We'll have to match up with Linux, and Isaac will do that cool thing where he inserts pictures and you get to vote. But we've got 2 pretty different teams. Don't discount Jaws. Right?
Dude, Annie Wilkes, I'm talking about from Misery. I had her on my board. I just stamina's a big issue. I think she's a defensive liability.
She's a little fat.
I think she's just she's gonna slow you down. Not very good for team chem. So that's why I left Wilkes off. I'll throw the teams up in a couple days, depending on when you're listening. This is gonna be posted on Thursday. So there you go. Do you want to close things off now?
Yeah. Listen, thanks very much. Again, you can like us on YouTube.
Nice,
is that right?
Nice. And what else can you do on YouTube?
Subscribe to our podcast. And you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, and Google. Thanks very much.
If you can.
Leave a review if you can.
Cool.
We're trying to grow. We got some good feedback about some quick little 60-second bursts to generate some more energy. I don't really know how to do that, but I'm pretty sure he can figure it out.
Call-in guests.
We've got some call-in guests. We've had Dave Drewler reach out from Blast from the Past. We could talk a little bit about a West Side. The Sparrow needs to be on here. Gavin's asked. We need Evan. Evan's got to be
Evan's
soon.
my next guy for sure.
Actually, Evan might even be my next guy. I think Evan likes me more than you.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, what about Toby? I like Toby. Toby's my favorite.
I'll get TL.
Yeah, okay. TL. That's it. Thanks for listening. Peace out.